Shalom, shalom, everybody. For those who understand the joy of finishing the fall festal season and entering into his appointments and receiving the full benefit of them, you can't. That's why it's just a joyous time. I mean, the days of the Sukkot, of dwelling in his dwelling place, of having that intimate time with him after the marriage and the consummation through the Teruah and the Atonement Feast. And now, the joy that the last great day, because I think today some of our brethren who keep the Saturday moon, this is their last great day. I keep the conjuncted, and it was a couple of days back. But the last great day has so much meaning. Just like we spend our 7 days in the Sukkah with our husband and Abba. He's accepted our marriage at atonement. He didn't find any uncleanness in us. He welcomed us into his house. He built that house for us. And that house building time could be the 5 days. This is just a guesswork. But the house building, you know how when a Hebrew man marries a wife, he goes and prepares and builds a house for her. So it could be that 5 days. 5 is always favor in Hebrew. Maybe that's that 5 days when the house is built. We spend the 7, or the cycle of completion and perfection, with the master learning his ways through the 7 days of the Sukkah. And I would like just to share some of the things that most people don't understand on the last great day. Some people think it's the 7,000th year, the millennium coming to an end. In other words, the last great day is the millennial reign. And the millennial reign is the 7th day of the feast, as Yahushua taught, but come and drink water. I'm believing that last great day of the feast because the last great day feast is a feast all by itself. And in Yahuchanan chapter 7, when he said, come drink water without price, without money, drink. That is the last, or the 7th day of the feast, where we drink him in the millennium. He raises us up as the first fruits, and we begin to train and practice in a new Elohim being bodies. We are Ruach, fledgling Yahuwah beings. They're made into his family in his image that Adam never could fulfill. The second Adam brought it to pass, Yahusha, through those 7 days. On that 7th day, this is a sabbatical, the 1000th year sabbatical year. Now, this last great day I wanted to bring into some light and guidance. It's the day when all of the nations begin in stages to be raised up. Okay? You know, the beginning at the 8,000th year, what they call the white throne. And we're all a part of it now. The first fruit that has no threat of death. Death is no longer any power over us. Let me back up, as I said this before in other teachings, that during the millennium, the Yahuwah children who have made it into the first fruits is our training. It's not just ended and done there for us. We have to learn how to think in omniscience, omnipresence, and omniscience way of life. We think multidimensionally. To give you an example, let me set up a few things, and maybe we'll just make this a couple of videos. Hillel, or what they call Satan before he fell, Hillel, he had access to 9 of the stones of fire from Yahuwah. Remember, there's 12 stones upon the breastplate of Yahusha or Aaron. These stones are different levels in understanding of dimensions, creation. They are, it's like looking through a lens into a different plane of existence, okay? Of how to create, how to lay down creative infrastructure. And then Satan, that's why he is, before he fell, quite a powerful being, because he had access, or the download, through his pipes and his harps on his body. He had access to 9 of them. If you'd read it, it's basically covered in, I guess, Yahoo 14, Isaiah 14, and Ezekiel, Yechezkel 28. That covers most of the fallen spirit before it fell. So he had 9 of these stones of fire up in heaven. And all those stones of fire, now that we are the body, let me take you to the book of Revelation. The 12 foundation stones of the apostles, without the apostles doing the work that they laid the groundwork on, we wouldn't have the truth that we have. We wouldn't have the foundation and strength that we have. In our body of Yahushua, we all build upon one another. That's why there's 144 different pieces of the body of Yahushua. I'm going to get more into this. I'm not a waterer. My anointing is a planter. I plant little seeds of thought that sort of till the soil. My calling is sort of like rip up the false doctrines, but my calling is not to lay down like these methodical bean counters that know how to lay out every thought. That's not my gift. So I'm just laying this before you to let you know. As Hillel had access to the 9, getting back to the Jerusalem temple, remember there's 12 stones for the 12 apostles on the foundation of the New Yerushalayim. We are spiritually the New Yerushalayim. There's 12 stones, there's 12 gates, there's 12 pearls. And these stones, again, that's the access of having a creator's mind. All of the universe lays in decay. It's broken down. It's like a car dead on the road. And it's still vast and beautiful. But see, what people don't realize at this last great day, of course we're raising up the nations. We're having to deal with the unruly savages coming up of every generation that's ever lived, and trying, without the influence of Hasatan, to set up on an Hebraean mindset and teach them the ways of Torah. Okay? And what the Father's been, I'll share this with you. What the Father's been working on me recently, family, is, you know how the 144,000 are those who are blameless, they have no fault before Elohim Yahuwah. As I've been studying the Torah, I've been going through the Sukkah. This has been the time of the study of the Sukkah. And you know all of the priesthood's functions as far as the boards, the bars, the sockets, the tents, the goat skins, the fence around the tabernacle, all the utensils, and all the numeric values of them written out in Hebrew. The more I'm being led this, again, this just says Yahuwah, not that says Yahuwah. But I'm believing the 144,000 are the different pieces of Yahushua's body in the Torah, or his temple, or his sukkah. His body, his temple, his sukkah. Again, I am not a mathematician. I am struggling with my limited abilities to try to... I spent 2 or 3 hours last night just reviewing all this to set it up to share with a friend. Get closer to 3. But that's something I wanted to share. 144,000 different aspects of all of us being called. Like some of us are that silver socket in the ground that holds the fence. Some of us are part of the linen fence. Some of us are the one of the boards that runs across like the rafter in the top. Some of us are the goat skin waterproof roof. You follow me? Some of us are one of the boards on the walls. You follow what I'm saying here? I haven't been able to prove it, but if you do the numerical values of these, just of the tabernacle alone, and add up the numerical values on the Hebrew letters on all these things, it very well could add up. But let's just walk through this. I don't want to throw away too much of the details too soon to you. But this is the last great day for many. We finished up ours a couple days ago. The last great day isn't the end, it's the beginning. Everybody, and even our Messianic and Yahuwah communities, I think everybody's getting either saved, written in the book of life. They don't understand that last couple of chapters of Revelation, I believe, is a jubilee. A 50,000 year jubilee. Yes, he made his family in 8,000 years. 7 is completion, but it's the last great day of the 8,000th years. Our 7th day is our judgment for our office, not judgment for our salvation or our calling. The 7,000 years, we are Ruach beings. He's entered us into his realm where he's going to give us limited omniscience, omnipresence, And we have a Malach that will be able to travel anywhere and see everything and act as though we are first person there with him. As Yahusha came to Yahuchanan in the book of Revelation, and he said, I sent my Malach to explain to you, and poor Yahuchanan thought it was Yahusha. It's his Malach who was sent. So it's going to be exciting. The millennial reign is our practicing. The humans that have survived the Great Trib, the humans are going to still breed and have children. The Torah is going to be enforced, but Zechariah 14, the barbaric nations will not come up to the Feast of Tabernacles. They will lose all chance of rain to grow crops, to starve them out. If they continue, the Father will plague them. See, what people don't understand, sorry the liberals, like I said, I despise liberalism, but in the next age, the curses of the law have become unsuspended. To have rule and order. Most of the people that are going to survive into there are going to be barbed. Can you imagine a Muslim or a Catholic submitting to Yahusha? You would have to kill them. They will not do it. It's just so against their grain and their Quran and their Catholicism that it's just this guy's an alien mutant to them. It's going to have force. The curses of the law. That's what he says. Those who knew to do good and didn't do it will be beaten with many stripes. Those who didn't understand but are deserving of stripes, they will be beaten with stripes. That's the curses of the law. They've been reenacted. Yahusha was born into a Roman-occupied Israel. It was a Roman land. It wasn't Israel. You see? So he could not have any type of enforcement of the curses of the law in a barbaric country. Just like today, Israel is under a barbaric regime. It's not yet brought back to being under Yahuwah's reign. Because if they were Torah keepers, they would obey the Torah. So they're not. It's just a land, and it has the name Israel on it. It's not yet been set up under his regime. But we're not going there today. So the 8,000th year, that's why it's the last great day. After we have had our Sabbath rest of in him, of drinking him, and of being in that sukkah, of being in that intimate time with the Master, of learning how to be him, learning how to act like him. We are the co-heirs with him of all creation. It's not just getting saved and worshiping him. We are co-heirs of being him and his bride. You see, building that family nucleus. And I think that's what the millennial rest is all about. When the land is Sabbath, no salvation is offered. It is the time of practicing on the existing humans. No salvation. They're not going to be offered salvation. They will live out their 100 years. They will die and be raised up, the ones in the millennium, they'll be raised up at the white throne and be offered salvation then. It's a Sabbath rest of offering the blood of the Lamb. It's the Sabbath rest of all is closed down. It's a training program of setting up government hierarchy and structure of the Torah. That's why on the last great day, all we did was read the mechanics of the Torah. We just studied the mechanics of the Torah. Just like in our assembly, the next year is going to be the sabbatical year. We're going to read the Torah all through the 7 days. And when it's not the sabbatical year, we'll read the Torah on the last great day to begin to understand, to lay out the infrastructure of the Torah. Okay? To me, this is so exciting. So we're practicing. Can you imagine being at the twinkle of an eye, the wink of an eye, we're put in the Ruach beings, we are Elohim. Did I not tell you are Elohim? We've been raised up as mighty ones. You can go to Yeshayahu 30, and he says, those in the lands that have survived, they're going to be submitting under their Elohim. There's many Elohim and yet one. Yahuwah is one. You know all those passages in Yeshayahu or Isaiah, I am one, there's none besides me. Sorry guys, sorry for your alleged perverted idea of blasphemy, but that's what we're being made into. We'll be part of that one. I'll give you an example. My human father is long since dead, but he is and has been and always will be my father, because I'll see him again. He's dead in a grave, but he's not was my father. He will always be my father. I'm going to cut this off. I'll pick it right back up again, okay?